Hi there, my name's John Carini, and thank you for joining us today for this webinar on how to do CRM from your inbox. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Again, my name's John, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. There's actually a comment section in YouTube, and I'll type something in there now. And if you do have questions, please ask them in that comment section, and I'll try to get to them during the webinar. Without further ado, I'll just get started. I'll show a few slides at the beginning, and then I promise I'll get into a live demo very, very quickly. So again, thanks for joining us, and let's get rolling here. So just before all the other information, just a little bit about our company. My name's John. Again, I'm from iEnterprises, and we are a CRM company. We've actually been delivering CRM solutions since the mid '90s, which is a long time in the software world, if you will. We're the winner of numerous industry awards. We have offices here in the United States as well as Europe and Asia. And the whole idea of the company, when it was founded, believe it or not, in the mid '90s, was the concept that CRM, then called SFA or contact management, should be integrated with your email and calendar. And 20 something years later, we're pretty damn good at it. So some of our awards over the years, we've been recognized quite a bit throughout the industry for quite a long time. Proud of that. And then here's some of our customers. These are some of the larger ones, obviously, like Disney and Equifax and Honeywell and some others. But we also have white label agreements with several vendors, such as Oracle. So sometimes you might be using our products and not even know it. So anyway, we've been around. Um, so from what I've seen in my 20 plus years of CRM experience, is what kills CRMs is when they're very difficult to use, they're time consuming, they require loads of data entry, becomes overwhelming for the end user, even dual entry, and then that turns into lots of training. And then you need to get an army of consultants to get your CRM up and running. Just all this stuff just doesn't work. And what you really should do is what ends up happening is you have lack of adoption, which ultimately causes CRM failure, right? So using CRM from your inbox actually solves these problems. It makes it super easy to use. It saves tons of time. It automates the data entry. That means there's no dual entry. There's kind of no single entry sometimes too, because it's automated from your email. And then you're living in your daily workflow that you're already used to. So you're accessing your email and your calendar, and you're living through that workflow, which makes it super easy to use your CRM. And then obviously we'll help you, so we get this thing set up for you. But bottom line is, CRM from your inbox makes for CRM success, because you don't really have to change the way you work in order to use your CRM. That's the key point. If you have to change the way you work to use your CRM, and there's no email integration or calendar integration, CRMs often fail. It's a huge investment typically. You do not want your CRM to fail. So the whole idea is being able to do everything from your email. I won't read all of this, but basically you can use your CRM as you're using your email. And I'll show that in a live demo in just a sec, I promise. And that includes like getting information about the customers and prospects as you're talking with them, as well as like saving the correspondence, so saving the email and linking it to something in the CRM so it's there for you to go to later. And then also even creating leads. So if you get a new email from a new lead, you can actually add them to the CRM right from your inbox. And I keep on saying CRM, but that includes I should have mentioned this earlier, but our supported CRMs will be covered in just a minute. Obviously, Salesforce, Dynamics, and some others. So also you can do everything from the calendar. So if you're not in your email, you're always in your calendar probably. When you create events, you can have them sent to the CRM, whether that be Salesforce or Dynamics or Oracle or whatever, right off the bat. And then we also have like a background sync, so that the emails and calendar items can actually just be automatically synced in the background. So what makes this better? There's other competing products on the market. I'm sure many of you are aware of that, including some provided by the CRM vendors themselves. And why should you use us over those? Well, other than that, we've been doing this for 20 years and we know what we're doing. The current products in the marketplace are the best they've ever been. They're full featured, and our products are not Chrome extensions. They're not browser extensions, which are tremendously unreliable, get in the way of each other. They have to be installed on each individual desktop. They're actually built in extensions. So in the case of Gmail, we're using a Gmail add-on, it's called, and that's built into Gmail, lives in Gmail on the cloud. And in the case of Outlook, we're using something called an Outlook add-in, and that lives inside of Outlook, not on your desktop. So it works everywhere. That means it works on mobile, and I'll actually demo the mobile inbox as well. It also works in any browser, so you're not stuck in Chrome or Edge or whatever it is. You can use Safari, Firefox, whatever you want. You can even show up, once it's installed in your mail, it's installed in, like for example, in your Gmail or in your Outlook in the cloud. If you show up at an airport, you go to a kiosk, it'll actually work after you log in anywhere because it's not part of your computer. It's actually part of the cloud offerings you're using for your email today. And then, so there's nothing to install locally, and that means it's easy to deploy. If you're a larger company, you can push it out quite easily. And then also, we charge only for the users you need. Many of the other competitors make you pay for every single, like Salesforce user, no matter what. And then we have this other part of it. We call it social insights. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the demo, but basically as you're dealing with people, we show links to their social media sites, and you can see their social media links. And then there's another product which is separate from this that actually lets you save any LinkedIn lead as any LinkedIn profile, as a lead or a contact in Salesforce or whatever CRM you're using. But the bottom line is, when you're using one of our connectors, there's no need to leave email. You can use your CRM right from email, do what you normally do every day, and then use the CRM simultaneously. That's the idea. And then our pricing is quite good. I'll review it at the end, but basically we offer all our products at one price. We don't offer you like a low price and then try to upsell you. The unlimited version of all our products has only one price, and we don't try to like get you to buy something else. So speaking of the different CRMs, so we have our own CRM also that you should know about. It's called iCRM, and iCRM comes with the Gmail and Outlook connectors. It also comes with that other product I mentioned, which is Social Insights, and it really costs only like $30 a user a month. So it's a really good deal if you're overwhelmed with Salesforce or Dynamics, and you want something that can work for you and is a reasonable price that won't be, and you won't be upsold, right? Like, we're not going to say the price is $30 this month and then $150 next month. And that's literally what our competitors do. We even import your data. So we'll copy your data from your old CRM or your spreadsheets or whatever, if you have any paid subscription with us, and we'll configure it for you and set it up kind of at no additional cost. Only if you just have one subscription with us, we'll do that. So if that's an option for you, iCRM might be something you would consider. I'll get into the live demo right now, but I'm going to go back to the beginning with the logos. So we're talking about CRM from your inbox, and here's some of the CRMs we support: Salesforce.com, Microsoft Dynamics, Oracle. We also support Sugar CRM, and we're about to ship something for NetSuite, and then of course our own iCRM, and we're supporting both Gmail and Outlook. Outlook clients and Outlook Cloud too. So we kind of run the gambit, and we try to support everything you might have. So okay, so let's get in the live demo. If you give me just 1 second, I'll get out of here, and I'll start from an inbox. So let me take this to a full screen. All right, so I wish my inbox only had this many messages in it. Right now I'm in my Gmail inbox here, right? And I'll flip back and forth from Outlook to Gmail and from one CRM to the other, just so you guys can see what's going on. But in my inbox, you can see I have these add-ins, or add-ons for Gmail on the right-hand side. Here's the one for iCRM. Here's the one for Salesforce. And if I click on it, it shows my Salesforce information, in this case, in the sidebar on the right-hand side of, of, um, Gmail. If you don't have this installed yet, you can just click on this little plus sign at the bottom here, right, where it says Get Add-ons, right? I'll click on that just so you can see. And if you're using Gmail, you can then search. I'll just search for our company name so you can see all our add-ons here. But um, but you can search for Salesforce if you're adding Salesforce, or Dynamics if you're adding Dynamics. And you can see here all of uh, our connectors, right? These are all the connectors we provide. They all have thousands and thousands of downloads, really nice ratings, and so on. So like here's iCRM, for instance, with almost 85,000 downloads and a rating of 4.6. Here's the Salesforce one with 78,000, and Dynamics with 36 plus thousand. So people are using these things, that's for sure. And anyway, so if I'm just kind of sitting in my inbox, so I clicked on my inbox, I don't really have a message in focus. You'll see that in the case of Salesforce and the other CRMs, it basically surfaces what your tasks for today. You can add a task. If somebody calls you can just quickly log a call. So we show some basic information just when you're sitting in your inbox. But then when you open a message, which I'll do, so I clicked on one of these unread messages in my inbox, and as soon as I open that message, you'll see that the connector goes out, and it identifies the sender of this email message as someone, in this case, in Salesforce.com. So it found the sender. His name is James Person in Salesforce.com. You can see what company James works for, phone numbers. You can click here to get more information. I'm going to skip this for just a second. Social media links are down here. You can see James's LinkedIn profile, and then any related items from, in this case, Salesforce.com that relate to this contact and company. So you can see there's 2 opportunities sitting here, and then there's a case, and then a campaign, and so on. So all the related information from Salesforce for this person and this company, Grand Hotels and Resorts, is surfaced right here inside of Gmail, just because I'm interacting with James, who works for this company. So in its simplest form, however, you probably just want to log an email, and you can see I skipped this section, but you can log the email really quickly and easily by just clicking this add button. So I'm going to do it right now, really quick. It's going to go fast. I click add, and bingo, it's now saved this message inside of Salesforce.com. And you can see here it says that the message is saved in Salesforce in this case. And I can click here to open the message, right? And then it actually opens the message here, but if I want, I can open it in full screen, and it's actually transporting me now to salesforce.com, brings me to that message in salesforce.com. So I can actually prove this thing was actually saved in Salesforce, right? And if it had an attachment, it would save the attachment in this related area as well. So that's kind of the way this works. Let's go back. Um, hang on one sec. I don't love these big screens. Okay, great. So I'm back in my inbox now. Let's explore just a little bit more. I clicked add and added this message to Salesforce, but there are other options. One option is to not, in the case of where you just click to add, it automatically adds it to the person it detected, whether that be a lead or a contact. However, you can link it to anything in Salesforce or whatever CRM you're using. So if I click on this link button here, it then pops up and says, hey, what do you want to link this through? Well, I could link it to opportunities, products, basically anything in Salesforce. We even support custom objects. So if you create a custom object in salesforce.com, it'll just automatically show up here, and you'll be able to link the any email to any object in Salesforce. So if I want, I can change this and select to save the message, the email message that's on my screen. In this case, to salesforce.com against an opportunity. And then maybe I say, hey, this is a really important thread. I I want to save every single message that comes from this thread. And if I do that, by doing that, I can just click mark, right? And now what it'll do is I don't have to do a thing. I don't have to click anything. The next, if this person replies to this message, if James replies or I reply to him right now, that message, that reply will automatically be saved in Salesforce, and then the reply of the reply will be saved, and so on and so forth. So that's the marking of the threads functionality. I'll mention this too. If you do want to just save the messages automatically and not have to click at all, that's possible with our automatic sync option. And if you choose to do that, then it'll just save the messages in the background without you doing anything. So that's an option. However, I don't really love it. I guess it depends on your business, but I don't love it just because then there's a lot of junk in there that maybe you don't want. By default, it only saves messages for contacts or leads that are found in your CRM. But that's the basic use case of when you get a new message. And how to save it. But as I mentioned before, there's more options too. Maybe somebody emails you and they have a problem with one of your products. Well, guess what? It's super easy to create a case right here in salesforce.com. You just click this little plus sign, and up comes the case form, which is like a ticket or an issue, and it actually copies, into it the description. This would be like the message itself is typically a description of the problem, and you can submit this case and have someone look into it. Just FYI, like the fields that are shown on this screen include your custom fields. All your drop downs and everything work and are inherited from your CRM, whether that be Salesforce or Dynamics or our own iCRM. So everything is just automatically detected from Salesforce and rendered here, including custom fields and custom drop downs. Everything, every configuration option that you put inside your CRM is automatically reflected here. So you can. I went back. You can obviously add any object here. So if this was an opportunity, maybe they're telling me about a new opportunity, I can add it here, and so on. And it's multilingual too, just FYI. I won't show that, but because I'm an American, I only speak English. But you can change the language, and it automatically detects your language and renders it in your language. So that's like the brief overview of it in Gmail. Let's hop over to Outlook real quick, right? So go to Outlook. Make the screen bigger. Okay. And I'll start looking. We'll look at Outlook, and you'll see it kind of works exactly the same way. In the case of Outlook, it shows as it's called an add-in, and and the way you get it when you first get in Outlook is you click at the top, and it might be just surfaced at the top, this option to get add-ins, right? Get add-ins, and then you can search for iEnterprises, just like I showed you in Google, and add one of the connectors, whether that be for Salesforce or whatever, to it. And then it kind of shows at the top, right? And so if I open a message, so if I open this message, um, I'm connected to Salesforce in this case. You can see it does exactly the same thing, has almost exactly the same options here. Let me switch to iCRM just so you can see how that looks. So you can see it really kind of looks the same way in iCRM, and you can see this person is also in iCRM. And if I wanted to log the email into iCRM in this case, we already saw it from Gmail to um, um, to Salesforce. Here's from Outlook to iCRM. I'll click log and bingo, the message is added. Another really cool feature is whether you're in Gmail or Outlook, when you get a message from someone, you can click on this open contact or open lead, and it'll open that person, show you a little more information about them. If I open them in a full screen, it actually transports me to that contact record in my CRM. So it would just open, in this case, it opened iCRM, but it would open Salesforce or Dynamics. So maybe like the sidebar just isn't quite enough, and you want to get the whole, all the details about this person in your CRM, you can click and just get transported into the full screen of your CRM and see everything about the contact in the CRM. So for those of you who haven't seen this yet, this is actually iCRM, and it's a very robust browser-based solution. So it's a cloud-based solution, and it looks a lot like other products in the marketplace. You can see here we include these social insights on the left-hand side. Here's the LinkedIn profiles. You can also navigate with iCRM to any LinkedIn profile and then just save them as a lead. That's just included with the product. And then the basic navigation is across the top, like here's a dashboard with all your KPIs, but you can click on contacts, leads, or whatever. And of course, if you want, you can just search for someone in the CRM like this. So I won't spend a lot of time here. Just know that iCRM is a full-featured CRM solution. It includes all the email integration and that social insights integration as well. And it's just a good value, because if you're paying us like $15 a month already for one of our connectors, you can get this for $30 a month, right? So you basically, and maybe you're paying us another $15 a month for social insights. Basically, you can have it all and not have a CRM cost with iCRM. So it's super configurable. Like you have custom fields and custom objects and all that, and we'll even set all that up for you. So that's enough about iCRM. I know I shouldn't. We can't just talk about our own products here. A lot of you using Salesforce and Dynamics. So speaking of Dynamics, I can also like open the Dynamics connector here, and it works exactly the same way. So this is what it detected in Dynamics, and I can save the emails and see all the related information from Dynamics here. So the other big use case is like when you get an email from someone, and they're not in your CRM, so they're not in Salesforce or iCRM or whatever you're using. In that case, you can actually add them on the fly, which is really important. So you can see here I opened a message from my good friend Bill Gates, and I'm attached to iCRM in this case, but it says it's not found there yet, right? And then down here it has some social media links and stuff. So if I want, I can just click add here and add Bill as a lead, and it scrapes actually some information from LinkedIn, and actually populates starts populating this for me, and I can just save this person as a new lead because they sent me this message right in in there. Somebody is actually asking a question. So if there are multiple people on an email thread and some conversations on the thread go private, do they get linked as well? So that is that with the, I'm assuming that's with the mark thread. I think that like if it depends, it really depends on how Gmail and Outlook, um, uh, if it's still part of the same thread in Gmail and Outlook, then it will be saved. But if you start a new thread, which I think that's what this really is, like if it goes private, I'm assuming you're starting kind of a new thread, then it won't save them automatically. So I hope that answered your question. Anyway, we'll continue on here. I want to show you a little bit on mobile. So it'll take me like 1 second to get my mobile stuff up here. Let's see. Ah, there we go. Hang on. Give me 1 second here. Sorry. Ah, here we go. Gonna try one more time. I may not be able to do mobile. We'll see. There we go. Okay. It just took a second. So let me go into my Gmail. So the way it works, I'm gonna since this is Gmail, I'll go back to Gmail on my desktop too because I just want you guys to see the similarities. So let's go window here. Okay, so let me make this. Sorry. All right, we'll make this bigger. Yeah. So basically, it because this is installed in the cloud, it actually works in Gmail, the Gmail apps on either your iPhone or your Android devices. So it's way cool. And if I open up a message in this case, this message hadn't been opened yet, right? You can see that these icons that we saw on the right-hand side actually show at the bottom in mobile, right? So if I click, for example, on the Salesforce icon down here, it pops up at the bottom, basically the same information that is here on the right-hand side of Gmail in this case. And I have the option to make it full screen, right? Um, right from inside of my mobile, right? Which is really cool. Maybe I'll do that. And then, as you can see, what's on the right here in Gmail is exactly the same as what's on my mobile device. In this case, it's an iPhone, but again, it works on an Android device as well. Right, it's exactly the same. And if I want to log this email, I can just click add, right? And I've logged this email to James Person, right? Because that's who it found in Salesforce.com. And that's it. I can open it. Basically, the exact same functionality works here. And if you have like the Salesforce mobile app, it works really well with that because if you open the contact, in this case, it'll just open it in the Salesforce mobile app, right? But one of the pieces of functionality I absolutely love on mobile is the email template. So if I click, you see here, I didn't cover this before, but if I click reply using template here, it'll bring up my email templates. Um, and, um, and then obviously these came from Salesforce, but if I click on one of them, and I say create reply, you'll see that it pops a reply into my Gmail with all these links. It can have images and stuff. So like this is a real time saver. And I'm sure you guys have all experienced this, but you're out somewhere having a good time. Somebody asks you a question. You need to answer them. You don't have your laptop there, and maybe pre-COVID anyway, this happened a lot, and you need to answer like with details, like screenshots and links to products brochures and PDFs and things like that. So if you set those up as email templates, which I have all those things set up, I get all the same questions asked all the time, and now wherever I am, I'm able to answer and give the full complete answer from my mobile device and get it done. I don't have to like worry about it when I get back to the office. Saves tons and tons of time. So I click send, that's it, it's sent, right? And you can see it actually replied, and if I did mark thread, that would have been saved in the CRM too. So don't really need to show more on mobile. If there's any questions on mobile, please ask. But please just know that everything, literally everything, works on mobile, right? So everything is there, and it's kind of like the Holy Grail. We've been working on these connectors literally for 20 years, and this mobile functionality was only made possible due to our work in conjunction with Google's and Microsoft's in Outlook. Very, very recently, was about a year and a half ago when we were able to support mobile. As far as I know, the Chrome extensions don't work on mobile. As far as I know, there's nothing else in the market that supports mobile email CRM integration. And iCRM is available here, obviously, on mobile as well as all the other connectors. So it all works, which is really cool. So it was kind of a holy grail item for us. So we're really, really proud of it. Anyway, that's good on mobile. So sorry, we were talking about threads, and Rock Capital's says typically it remains part of the same thread. So like what I would recommend in that case would be don't mark the thread, just save the individual emails. It isn't that hard. You like open up the message, you click one button to save it. It takes 2 seconds. So then if you're worried about privacy, you can even disable this mark thread capability, by the way, so that it isn't an option. And then and you can do that at the company level, right? So nobody can mark threads. So there's nothing's getting saved automatically. And then they can pick and choose which message to save. And it's only a single click. Like remember when I open a message and I want to add it, I can just click this add button and it happens with one click. Anyway, that's what I would recommend, just then saving the messages that aren't private. One by one, but again, it's super easy because there's only one click. All right, so let's see here. I had a whole script, and of course I didn't follow it, but I seem like I covered everything. Mobile, yeah. Oh, I should show the calendar real quick. So let me do that. We're almost done actually, so I might get you out of here a little early. So if I go to the Google Calendar, I wish my calendar looked this empty. But if I do open a meeting, you'll see it works exactly the same way. And if I open the sidebar and then open a meeting, it automatically detects the person in Salesforce. You can log the event here, or you can have them syncing in the background automatically. I do see people use the automatic sync much more for calendar items than emails. And that is because oftentimes people have like automated calendar items and things like saved and created in Salesforce or iCRM or whatever CRM they're doing. So it'll actually transport those items to your Outlook or Google Calendar automatically if you have background sync turned on. But again, just like in email and on mobile, everything's here in this sidebar. You can do everything and work on your in your CRM while you're on your calendar, as well as while you're in your email. So anyway, that is, I mentioned the calendar. Yeah, so we'll go back to some slides if there's no more information. Um, One person is asking about deployment. So in the case of Gmail, it's very, very easy to deploy if you purchase it for a group. Um, when you there's actually when you install it, there's a trial. So if you want to try this and you haven't done so already, I mentioned it before, but just click the plus or in Gmail, or get add-ins in Outlook, and then when you go into one of these, here's the Oracle one, I can install it, right? And then if I'm the domain, if I'm the administrator, I can actually install it for everyone in my domain all at once. Or I can just install it to me. Maybe I'll do that when I want to try it. Here's the Salesforce connector. You can see it's already installed um, as I've been demoing it. But if you're the Google domain admin, you can install it for your entire domain right there from Gmail. And then in Outlook, again, I mentioned it was get add-ins. So here's get add-ins. And I'll do Salesforce. And here it is, the Salesforce connector. You can add it here, but then there's a ton of controls, by the way, if you're using Exchange. You don't have to use Exchange to deploy this, but if you are using Exchange to deploy your Outlook in your company, you can actually deploy it with Exchange as well, and kind of any way you want. But one cool thing is, like, if a lot of the other products that are competing with us, including, like, for example, in Dynamics and for Salesforce, their Outlook connectors only work with Exchange. Ours will work with any backend. So it's actually what I was demoing here. This is actually Gmail on the back end. Some people use Gmail on the back end and Outlook, or as their email client on their desktop. You can do that, and with the others, you really can't. So anyway, when you install the trial, there'll be like a buy now thing here, and you can purchase it for one or multiple users. If you purchase it for multiple users and they're in the same email domain, so my email's jcarini@ienterprises.com. So everybody, if I bought it for 20 people, everybody at iEnterprises could just use it automatically, or up to 20 people, I should say, if I bought 20 licenses. And if you do have multiple email domains, that's fine. You just need to email us and let us know what your email domains are. So that's the deployment thing. It's pretty easy. Again, you can deploy it. You can deploy it from you can deploy it right from Gmail. So let's get back here. We'll wrap this thing up. If there are any more questions, I'm still here. You can ask them, but the deployment is pretty easy. Great. All right, so we did the live demo. So just reviewing it, like I showed, the install can be deployed in mass. You just need to be the Gmail admin or your Exchange admin. And here's a little bit about Exchange. It actually works on a Mac too. I'm on a Mac, but it'll work in any version of Outlook that is currently supported by Microsoft. So it goes way back. I think that's like 2015 or something. So finally, the pricing page. Sorry to keep you from this, but we try to deploy very straightforward pricing. So the price for the connector is the same for both Gmail and Outlook. And by the way, if you use Gmail sometimes and you use Outlook sometimes on the same email address, you can use both at the same price. If you buy it monthly, it's $14.95 per user per month. And if you go for an annual one, it's discounted to $12.95 per month for a year commitment, right? That's paid up front. Compared to like something like, it's way better than Salesforce Inbox in my opinion, but Salesforce Inbox, which is the competition on Salesforce, the biggest competitor, costs $25 per user per month. At least last I checked, it did. Um, that's it. That's the price. If you purchase it, you only have to pay that one price. We don't upsell you. We don't do anything. All right. So iEnterprise CRM, which I've mentioned a few times here, is our own CRM, full featured. It comes with the connector. It also comes with this thing called Social Insights I have at the bottom. Social Insights is a thing that just lets you navigate to any LinkedIn profile and save them as a lead in your CRM. Right now we support Salesforce.com, Microsoft Dynamics, and our own iCRM with Social Insights. So if you want like almost free leads, you can get this for also $14.95 per user per month. And actually, we discounted even more. It's like $9.95 per user per month for an annual setup. But iCRM includes both of these, right? Includes everything we got. It's called the Unlimited Edition, which has the Gmail, Outlook connector, QuickBooks integration, Social Insights, all at basically $29.95 per user per month. That's on an annual basis. It's $34.95 per user per month if you pay monthly. And if you have a ton of users, like more than 50, there's a volume discount available. We don't upsell you. We don't upsell you on with iCRM. We even help you convert your data from Salesforce or wherever you're coming, as well as import your data from spreadsheets to get you going. And we set up custom fields and custom objects and things, and that's just part of the subscription at only $30 a month. So anyway, enough pushing iCRM, but it's a really good value. You've already asked a ton of questions, which I appreciate. Wanted to throw up some contact information in case you have further questions. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you got something out of it. And those of you that are watching this after it was recorded, which I know is usually hundreds, sometimes even thousands. If you do have a question, we're happy to answer them. Just shoot an email to sales@ienterprises.com. I will typically pick that up personally, by the way, if you do send that message. Or here is my direct number, or I'll call it my direct extension, I should say, at the office. So please feel free to contact me should you have any questions whatsoever. And thank you again for attending. Have a fantastic day. Stay healthy, everyone.